I will give you two guesses what I'm going to be doing. It doesn't have anything to do with fabric or threads or anything like that. I am playing with glass beads, modeling paste, there's some other things here too, stencils, and paint chips. Hi everyone, my name is Mary Lou and this is Create Junk Journals with Mary Lou. Paint chips come in all different shapes and sizes. There is the solid ones that are just one color, and I know I have one of those right here. This is a paint chip, and it was just one piece, one color, and I used it to make this. But I like these. I like it when there's multiple colors on them. And you can do so many things with these. You can use them for die cuts. They make fantastic die cuts. You can use them for tags. You know, you just cut them in half and you have a beautiful multicolor tag. But I like using them as page tabs. So how I have done that, I have an example in here. So I stenciled onto my my paint chips, and then I used it as a, well, this is a sideways belly band. So I can put an envelope through here. I happen to have a little envelope right here. So I can put this through here. I have a flap right here, and then it's through. I've done that with this. So here I've also taken a paint chip and I have made my envelope a little bit sturdier. So what do I have in front of me that I am going to play with? Let's just go through that. I have iridescent medium. I have modeling paste. I have white gesso. I have glass beads. So this is a gel with glass beads in it. I also have, this is stencil paste and it is glitter, or like, it's called fairy dust. So it's very fine glitter. Then I have two different colors of stencil butter. Yes, I'm using stencil butter. Don't judge. If you don't know what I mean with that, I usually make the biggest mess when I am using stencil butter. It will be in my hair. It is, I don't know what it is. I can use modeling paste and other mediums, no problem, without making a mess. Stencil butter, it just goes everywhere. And then the other thing I want to do is I have my gilding flakes, and I have embossing, my embossing dabber and sticky embossing powder. So that is another thing that I want to use. So I'm just really going to stencil onto the paint chips and see what comes out of it. So the first thing I want to do is show you how to stencil with gesso. And I'm going to take a tall one and I'm going to take a wide one. So I have a brownish one, a little bit more grungy. So I have gesso and I have a makeup sponge. And I have a couple of stencils here. I know I have more around me, and I'll grab them as I am going. But these are right here. And the reason that I'm grabbing these is because I used these in my washi tape video, and they still have all the ink on them. So I think if I am going over this with the gesso, it is going to dissolve the oxide sprays again, and so the gesso is going to have different colors, and that's what I'm hoping it is going to do. We'll find out. So I have some gesso on my sponge, and I'm just dabbing it on. I am not rubbing it. I am dabbing, and it's doing exactly what I was hoping it would do. Yes, it is picking up the color off of the stencil here and there, which is perfect. So here and there it's picking up color, here and there it's not. All right, I'm pretty sure that it has moved, so let's see what comes out of it. Oh, that is pretty. I don't think you can see it because of course it's super pale, but I'll hold it up, see if it shows. So that is beautiful. I like that a lot. So let's do the exact same thing on this one, but with a different stencil. So this one also has not been cleaned yet and has the ink from the other project on it. So we'll see what happens. And I'm putting it on. It's not, I'm actually not going overly thick, because as I'm going, I'm just spreading the gesso out. And I'm hoping that it's going to pick up the color, because it'll have the raspberry and wild honey distress inks in there. I think it has a yellow too. What yellow did she pick that she wanted? This is not oxidized. This is regular distress ink. Mustard seed, I think she picked. And she would be my granddaughter who made the project with me. Okay, yeah, see? And it did pick up color again. So that's why I don't usually clean my stencils, because I like how it will pick up the color from what has been used before, and then you get like a really neat effect. Now the other cool thing is that you're always going to get it to go from dark to lighter, so it looks different at the top than it does at the bottom, even though you've done the exact same thing. Okay, so that is stenciling with gesso on paint chips. Let's grab a green one, because I have my stencil butter here. And these stencil butters, do I have another one in this shade? I think so. I have another green. Do I have a turquoisey one? Maybe not. No, I think I already used that. So I have two different colors green, and I have here a turquoise, which I think would look lovely on that one. And then I have a terre verte, and I think that would look beautiful on this. So I'm just going to lay this one over here. Then I am going to grab, this one is going there, this one is going here. And I'll use the same stencil on both of these. And I'm just picking up a small amount of the stencil butter, and I am picking up a small amount because I know what I am going to do with it, and I'm not doing it on purpose. It just usually happens. And I am not someone who needs to push it through every hole on the stencil. I like when it just kind of, sometimes it just picks up a little bit of the design, and sometimes it will pick up the full design. So it'll get like a really mixed effect. And I probably should have put a mat under here so that I wouldn't make too much of a mess. And then I'm just scraping it, lifting it up, and look how pretty that looks. So it's a very tone-on-tone color, but I like it. That looks very pretty. Now you can cut this into tags, or you can cut it into a pocket or something like that. This would actually make 2 pockets for your journal. Putting that one aside so it can dry. And I'm going to use the exact same stencil without cleaning it. And I'm going to put it on the other side. And this is usually where my problem comes in, because now I am going to work through my work. So I am going to put it this way around so that I am still working towards myself as opposed to away from myself. And I think that might help a little bit. And I'm using small amounts. I am really not using a lot. If you grab a bigger palette knife, you'll get way more coverage. But sometimes I just want to do everything in small little bits. Okay, let's pull this off. And yes. Well, I have it all over my fingers again. Dropping this straight into the water so I can't make more of a mess. Same with my palette knife. I am being exactly like that today. So I like that. I have this color, and I have my opal polish, and this is the golden flamingo, and I think that would look really pretty on this background. So I'm going to use this stencil, and would that be too big? No, it's okay. I'm going to do something different here, so it's okay. I can do it just like this. So the opal polish is by, I believe it is by Cosmic Shimmer. So I'm just putting the sponge right into the medium, and it doesn't always want to do what I want it to do. So there's quite a bit on there now. And let's see. So then you just kind of rub it around, and I'm going to try and not get it underneath the stencil, because that I don't want. I'm just going back over it. And my fingerprints are all in there. Perfect. Okay, I'll lift that up, and it is very subtle. I don't know if that'll come across. It does a little bit. You can see the shimmer. So I just want to dry that for a moment. And it doesn't take very long for it to dry. It's wonderful stuff. I want to go over this with a different stencil. I have a swirly Tim Holtz stencil, and I want to go over it with that one. And what I want to do with this is I am now going to use my modeling paste. I should really grab my mixed media mat, because it just, it doesn't move on me, which is always helpful. And I have space to put everything. So I like my glass mat because that's great for wet mediums, like paints and stuff. But I really like this one because it's great for when you're stenciling and doing stuff like that. So I'm putting this on here like so. And I'm grabbing some stencil paste. So I'm just grabbing my palette knife, and I'm just putting this over top, and I think that will give a really cool effect, because now I've got two mediums going together. Some stencils I want all of it, some stencils not really. This is one where I want most of it. Just spreading it out so that it's a nice even thin layer, and then I'll lift it up, and that looks so cool, very pretty. So you can put this sideways as a pocket, right? Or you can put the whole thing just like that into your journal. You can cut it in half and be a tag, or you can cut it like that and be 2 tags. Easy peasy. So I've used the modeling paste, but I want to do it again. So I've got this lace design, and this has ink all over it, so that hopefully the modeling paste is going to pick it up. And then I'm just going to spread this all over here. So that should have worked really well. Yeah, wonderful. So the texture paste isn't completely white now. It has a little bit of a color in it, and it looks really cool. I like it. Yeah, perfect. And I have an orange one. Let me show you how you can color your texture paste. So I'm grabbing weathered wood. That's Distress Ink Re-Inker. And I'm just going to put 2 drops, it's probably way too much, in here. So now I'm getting like a really deep gray texture paste. And I'm just kind of just sliding this over the stencil. I want just a little bit of the texture paste to be here and there, but I don't want it to be completely covered. And you can really truly pick any color, paint or anything like that, and color your texture paste to get whatever you want to do, just like that. And I like this. It has the design, right? But it is not like a solid design, and I like how that looks. I want one that I can put some glitter on. I will tell you what I have laying around for journals. I have a fairy journal that I've been working on for a year or so, little by little, and it's for my granddaughter. And but I haven't really done anything exciting with it in the last little while. So I think I need to pick that up and do something. So I'm going to need some stuff that can go in there. And I think using the stencil paste, the fairy dust, would look beautiful in there. So this is a thin texture paste, and you just slide it over top. And this is a, of course, a mandala design. So it should give it a sparkly mandala idea. Oh, that came out way better than I was expecting. I wasn't sure how that was going to work. Can you see it? So when this dries, it'll be translucent. Okay. What do I have left? I have my beaded gel left, and that I use in a completely different way. I'm grabbing my beaded gel, and I'm taking a bit of an amount, and I'm just spreading it on here. And this is fun. This is a fun thing to use. So I'm not using a stencil. You see that? This is just creating texture on here. But what I can do with this is I can color it. So I'm just making sure that one side is completely covered, and then I'm just kind of stretching it over so that I get a bit of a rough edge. This is really to create some grunge on the edges. So I am putting a little bit more right on the edge here. there. And then it just needs to dry, and it does dry translucent as well. And then you can see all the beads coming through. But again, I want to color it. I have a spun sugar here. Did I just wipe all the way through? No. So I am going to put a little drop of spun sugar right there. And I'm going to add some water so that it is a little liquidy. And I'm going to grab a paintbrush. And then I'm just adding some of the ink over top. So I'm kind of dabbing it in there just to get the color to go there, but it doesn't have to be perfect. When it comes to mixed media, nothing needs to be perfect. The reason that I am adding this to Mass Make March, because it truly does not necessarily belong to Mass Make March. It just doesn't. But I am doing this because it belongs to my Mass Make, because I love using this kind of stuff, but sometimes I find that it just takes too long to grab it and play with it when you're working on a journal. So that's why if I have a bunch of things that are already sitting in my stash that are ready made, then I don't have to deal with it anymore. See how pretty that is? So I'm just letting the ink drip through. I think I want to use some of the weathered wood here as well. And I'm just going to go along the edges. If it drips, it drips. That's all good. I don't mind. But this way I'm getting a little bit more of a grunge effect on here. The only thing that is picking up the color is kind of the texture paste. And that is because there is a plastic layer on the card, on the paint chip. I think I want this color because I think gold would look beautiful on here. And I want a different stencil. I want something that is a little bit more dainty. Now, in this situation, I have no idea if this is going to work. So I'm going to try it in a small spot here on the bottom, and then we'll find out if it really works. So I have my embossing dabber, and I actually keep my embossing dabber stored upside down so that it is always loaded with ink. And I'm just dabbing over top of my stencil. Oh, that is going to look really cool, I think. Okay, so then I have my sticky embossing powder in it. And I'm just, you kind of use it exactly like regular embossing powder, except that when this dries and it's heated up, it is sticky. Let's put it over here for a second, and we'll pour this back in the jar, because getting embossing things here in Brandon is not an easy feat, so I don't want to waste anything. Okay, now I'm going to heat this up, but I will just turn the sound off for you, so I'll show you. So then I am grabbing my gilding flakes. I'm just laying them in there. And before I start brushing it off, I am going to put that piece of paper underneath again so that it's not going to go everywhere. There. Put this under here. Lay it like that. Close that up for now. And then I'm grabbing a paintbrush. I always use a paintbrush. I always use a softer paintbrush. I've seen people say that they like using rougher paintbrushes. I like the softer one because I can control it a little bit. And I know that I'm not rubbing all the gilding flakes into teeny tiny little pieces. So I'm just rubbing it right over top. And the gilding flakes that I am using are by Cosmic Shimmer, and it is Warm Sunrise. These are beautiful big flakes, and I just don't want to waste them, even though I know that they will last me forever and a day. Okay, so now I need to brush this off, and I am going to use, I have a little coarser brush here. Whoops. Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, so I think that is all the material that I was thinking of using. Okay, so I have a whole bunch ready now, and this one looks beautiful. It has the, it is iridescent, and it has all the glitter in it, and that is the fairy dust texture paste or stencil paste. And then this one is just about dry. It's going to take a little bit longer, but that is with the glass beads, and you can see how much texture there is there. What I want to do today is I'm going to put some of these aside. They're going to go straight into my stash. I want to take one long one, and I'll take this one, and we'll decorate them. So I think I want to use these two girls. I don't want to use this girl again, even though I could. There we go. Do I want them on here, or do I want them on here? And I think they would look really pretty with the gold behind them, so that's what I'll do. And then I think these birds are going to stand out really well against that yellow background. There we go. Yeah, they'll look really nice there. Okay, so let's do a little bit more. So I have labels galore. Do I want that one? No, maybe the trees, just like that. And then put the birds in there. That works. Put a little label on there. And these labels are from the Junk Journal Studio. Michelle makes wonderful things. And then I am combining them with labels that I have in my own supplies. So, yep, I like that. All right, so I just need to ink around it. one. Oh, whoops. It just flipped out of my hand. And again, if you've never seen me do this, I like to scrunch them up like that, and then go over it like so. And then when you open it up, you have a beautiful aged label. So I'll do that again for you. There. And it looks old and worn. And it just gives it a little bit more depth and interest. It's much better than just having plain labels. And I have learned that I need to use my fast grab tacky glue on the paint chips because of the plastic layer on there. So this sticks just a little bit better. So normally I don't like to cover up the names of the paint colors because they're just, most of the time really, really cool. But I just did. Okay, let's stick this down. And then I just smooth it all out. Same with this one. And put it right there. Smooth it all out. And then I can put the birds right there, so I can cut this little piece. It's gonna come right off. So I may want to put one more there. No, I don't think so. I think I want it just like so. I do want one more label right there. I'm going to put it sideways so it kind of comes out from behind there. That's what I want to do. There. And I'll grab some cheesecloth to put behind the birds so that there's a little bit more texture behind them. Whoa! And I have the cheesecloth that I was just using to mop up stuff. So I'm just ripping a piece off of it. Now I have glue and stuff on my fingers and everything is sticking to it. This is a perfect piece. So I'll just lay that a little bit flatter, like so. And then the birds can go right on top of that. Oh yeah. That is lovely. So now this can go probably pretty much straight in here. Let's take a look. Where can we put it? So I'll have to cut a little piece off of here, but I don't like, I do and I don't. Let me tell you why I don't. If I grab my tab punch, I can just, oh, right here, I can just go like this. And then I'm going to turn this over. And punch it up. And then I have a beautiful page tab. See? So now I don't have to cut anything off. It is now a page tab. So I'm just checking to see, like I have the beautiful bird here that I put in there on Friday during the live, and I think I know exactly where I want this to go. Right on here, maybe. Maybe not. I should have made the tab on the other side, which is okay. I can still do that. And then I can use this as a pocket in here. So it is now becoming a page tab and a pocket. Or I can flip it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn this into a flip out. I'm going to stick it down like this, and then it's just been added in there. That is what I want. Cut it down and cut this edge off here as well, just like that. And then let's see where I want my page tab to be, probably about there. So then I'm sticking this right in here, just like that. Flipping this over, and then I'm putting glue on both sides. There we go. And I'll take the tape again and go straight from one end to the other end, and then we'll mush it in there so it doesn't come loose. And then I have a beautiful flippy thingy in there. Wonderful. Ta-da! So yeah, that is how you get very easy decorations in your junk journal, and you're adding some interest to it. So now this kind of sticks out, and I am perfectly fine with that. I wanted the extra bit of texture on the outside. So yeah, that's how I can use these. Let me put this one together. I put that right there. This one can go like that, and then that one, and then the girls will be right on top of that. So that gives them a lot of interest. It kind of covers up some of the gold, but not a ton. Yep. But I do want to put, again, a little bit of the cheesecloth behind them. Okay. So put a little bit of glue behind the one girl. I know exactly where I want this, so just need to stretch it through. Oh, there we go. Just want it to come out from her side. There we go. Let's glue the labels down. I want it to look like it's been, you know, you've just thrown some paper onto a page and put it together like that. There we go. There. Then we'll put some glue on the girls. And we'll stick them right there. I'm going as far to the bottom as I can. And rubbing them down. There we go. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot, actually. It's very pretty. It's a lovely piece for in my stash. I can cut it down and turn this into a tag or a journal card. And I may just do that, but for right now, this is where I'm at. So I made a whole bunch of different things, and you can see how just by having these backgrounds ready, how easy it is to decorate something. So that is why I like to have a whole bunch ready to go at all times. And yeah, let's see what we are going to make tomorrow. So there's not very many projects left. We are reaching the end. So let's see what is coming up. Labels. Let's do labels tomorrow. So tomorrow, bring your scraps and let's make some labels. For today, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button because there is still lots more coming. I still have about just a little less than 20 days left in the 100-day project. And there is still a few days left in March. So Mass Make March is still happening. As you can tell, there's still some projects in my bowl. This was stenciling on paint chips, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.